Hey guys, Joshua David here. Welcome to Discerning the Times Ministries. I've really been looking at a few different things lately, and we all hear the rumor of the Klaus Schwab World Economic Forum Vision 2030. And it's starting to really make sense, all of it, to what's happening right now. So you have Klaus Schwab and the Secretary General of the United Nations signing this agreement that they're going to cooperate with each other to speed up the 2030 or Vision 2030. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's the Great Reset. And they're talking stuff about you won't own anything and you'll be happy. Okay? Now just think of the implications of that alone. You won't own anything. So you won't own your house. You won't own your car. You won't own stuff in your house. You can just keep going. They say you won't own anything, and I believe them. So how do you get your stuff? They say that you will rent everything, and it'll come to you by drone. So it'll come to you by drone. Why couldn't you just go pick it up? Well, because you probably won't have a vehicle. It'll probably be public transit of some sort, because they want you in a system where you are monitored at all times. So, of course, you have to go into a subway train or something like that, or this new system. And, that's pretty intense that way. But, to me, it sounds horrible, You can't possess anything of your own. You have to rent it, everything. But also think of the short time period it is. It's only 7.5 years away, they say. Now, okay, so we'll continue on with what they want to do. They're going to say you can't eat meat, or you can, but it's like few and far between as a treat, not as something regular. But I'm sure the elites aren't going to go without meat. And probably that's why Bill Gates owns all the farmland, so that lots of other people won't. Now, I think we're a lot farther ahead than people think. There's people who go about their day and they just go to work and, they're sitting ducks. And these elitists, they're just ready to fire, And I use that analogy because that's exactly what it is. They're going to, kill a lot of people by their policies. I truly believe that they're messing with weather, even though I know the earth is groaning because of sin. But they're up there doing lots of things, which is actually proven with airplanes and putting chemtrails and all that kind of thing. But it's affecting weather. I believe that they could actually spark fires. They do all these types of things. They do whatever they can to be proven, maybe not even right, but to change your mind to go towards their plan. Now we're looking at, a so-called Ukraine-Russia war. Well, I believe Russia will not go along with this plan. So I believe, Russia has to be taken out. I believe, in that video it says that the United States of America will not be the superpower. A handful of countries will dominate. And now you got the Secretary General of the United Nations signing with Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum to accelerate Vision 2030. So we can see who's going to be in charge of this, okay? Now, the Bible talks about 10 kings and how they're going to rule and will only have their power but a short time and hand it over to the Antichrist. So I'm going to do a lot more elaborate look into this and come up with a video that might pinpoint a few things, but I believe we're right on the precipice of a major world war. I believe to be able to do something like a Great Reset, that title alone, it's probably an understatement to what's really going to happen. I believe, because the way people are, especially in America, they have their certain ideologies. And you can talk about religion with this too, or patriotism, right? They're not going to just give things up. We know America has guns like crazy, right? They're not just going to sit there and let things happen. I believe that's just not the case. So, but if they take their spirit away, okay, by going through a world war, displacing millions of people, talking about some big disaster that's probably going to happen, I would say maybe even nuclear war, then they're going to just be like, okay, kind of surrender kind of deal, because they have to make this world go worse for even those guys to say, look, we have a solution for all this. 2030 is the way to go, even though you don't like it. It's the best way to go about peace and security. The Bible talks about when they say peace and security, sudden destruction will come upon them. Now, I believe that we're entering into a demolition of the United States of America, and anyone else who wants to oppose the Vision 2030. And it's going to make people be fed up with war, famine, governments, right? And they're going to start to realize we need something to take over. Now, the Bible talks about the Antichrist ruling and making a peace covenant with Israel. Now, there's nothing that was said about religion in that World Economic Forum video about Vision 2030. Why? Because it's a touchy subject, and there's nothing that they could say, especially against Christianity, that is going to change the minds of Christians. That's going to be a sneak attack. And I believe that sneak attack is going to happen through Israel, because Israel is the main trembling cup of religion through multiple different types of religion. And I truly believe that they're going to use that as a catalyst to mend religions together. And that's all in the tribulation. I believe that in months, okay, I don't know this for a fact, but you can see things happening. We're talking about a food shortage. A lot of people are saying in 90 days that's going to happen. Well, they're not going to let that happen and then just let that, and then go on to something else after that happens. No. When that food shortage hits, it's game on. Trust me. It's game on. And everything else that is so-called rumor now is about to happen. So, I believe the Lord has our backs when it comes to taking care of us. But I also believe that He's given us brains and He's given us discernment to realize what's going to happen. So I truly, truly believe as Christians, you need to get right now, while things are going good with the economies and stuff, people are making money, I truly believe you need to convert that money into supplies, food, water. Water was another thing they said they're going to reduce by 25%. That's a lot. We don't even have enough water as it is. Never mind reducing it 25%. And I don't believe you should get that all for yourself. I believe you should pick 2 other families that you should get it for as Christians. Because not everyone has discernment. And you might be able to save a family and bring them to Christ in the process. Right? If you have the supplies to do so, because that could be a tool for you to bring a family or just one person to the Lord, right? But anyways, so right now things are going okay. We have a little bit of a break. They're not asking about all these things with COVID and all that kind of thing. But there's this Ukraine-Russia war. Okay, well, this Ukraine-Russia war isn't Ukraine and Russia. Let's get that straight right now. Who's backing them? Who's backing Ukraine? Why isn't Ukraine already got its white flag up saying, I surrender to Russia, a superpower? Why hasn't that happened yet? That should have happened within the first week. Well, it hasn't happened because the United States of America and multiple European countries, I guess you could say NATO, along with the United Nations, which is basically one and the same, are helping out Ukraine. Regardless of what Putin from Russia says. Now, back in the day, a couple of years ago, I would think if Russia, a major superpower who has, I think, the most nukes on this planet, says, don't you dare try offering any kind of supplies, weapons, anything to the person we're going after, because if you do, I would consider that an act of war. Well, that's exactly what's happening. And I believe that's exactly what Putin thinks. Putin's not a stupid person. He knows exactly what's happening. Ukraine is only standing right now because of NATO and mainly the United States of America. He knows he's in a war with NATO. Okay? Now, that's a significant thing. They might not tell you that on the news, but that's exactly what's happening. NATO against Russia. Now, where's China? China's in a major lockdown right now. And their manufacturing is shut down. And their food is limited. And, they're in a pandemic right now. They're not thinking about Taiwan, or maybe thinking about Taiwan right now. But I think a deal has been struck. That's why Americans can't talk badly about Chinese, because the Democrats who are in power right now in America have struck in a deal with China. And even though China's acting all buddy-buddy with Russia, ultimately the money comes from America. And I believe that America is going to take out Russia first, and then I think China second, because I don't think China's going to put up with that either unless they're for the World Economic Forum, which could happen. They're the ones that put out the pandemic. They're the ones that have done quite a few things, actually. But I wouldn't trust America as far as I can throw them when it comes to their government, But we're seeing these things happen. We have this summer, I believe, that things are going to kick off. Now, kick off to a point where it's going to escalate very quickly. As a matter of fact, it already is. The rhetoric coming from these governments are serious rhetoric. You have the government of America, I can't remember his name, black guy, I think he's the Secretary of State. He was talking about, if Russia does any kind of thing, with any kind of nuclear weapons or chemical weapons or anything like that, bets are off. We're not going to stand down to a bully. That's what he said. Trump would say something like that, to stop something. They're saying something like this because they know that they're already there. And it's like, okay, bring it on then. You know what I mean? But yeah, we got a food crisis that's just about at the doors. I mean, there's some countries who are dealing with it right now, I believe Jordan is one of them. I think they're dying over there from starvation. But we don't have much time before we can see things play out. And it's like, no, they're already there. And I'm not trying to come on as a fear monger or nothing like that. I'm just trying to say, look, we've never been in a position like this before in our lives. And we're seeing things that are happening that are serious. And they're trying to change every aspect of our lives. And they're trying to do it by a certain date. It was 2030. But now they just signed a form saying they want to accelerate that. To when, I don't know. But they're trying to accelerate Vision 2030. And a big part of that, which they don't talk about, right, is religion, Christianity, the Muslim community, Buddhist, Hindu, all that type of thing, okay? Jews, they're not talking about it because they know that if they do talk about it, people will stand up because religion is a touchy subject for everybody. But I believe that's when they're going to do something, when the Antichrist is going to stand up and make a covenant with Israel, because they have to take care of the problem in Israel before they take care of anything about religion. So they're going to think they're going to do it. The Bible says there's going to be a 7-year peace deal halfway through. He's going to break that deal. But I believe we're so close, you guys, to the Antichrist being revealed and this peace covenant happening. Because if they're accelerating that, and they have to have everything in order by 2030, and that includes religious issues. Okay, they might not say it, but that includes it, because they're trying to get everything done by then. So if that leaves us, not very much time, then the rapture happens before that. And praise the Lord, we're looking at the rapture really soon. I'm never going to put a date on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. And I'd say even in a couple of years, I'd be like, that's being generous. That's pushing the envelope. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. And I don't know that for a fact, right? But man, the Bible talks about birth pains and how they're going to happen with more intensity and with more frequency. These things are not going to take a bunch of time. Look at how fast it took for the pandemic all the way to this Russia-Ukraine war thing. Look at how fast it took from the Russia-Ukraine war thing to talking about a food crisis, right? How fast is it going to happen when the food crisis is here? How fast is it going to happen from a food crisis to World War III, right? And then after that, it's just nonstop, And it's at a place now where they're really trying to push all this LGBT stuff on our children. The evil is thick because Satan knows he has but a short time. So just keep these things in mind. Like I said, I'm going to do an in-depth video. I'm going to do a little bit of research on all angles. Probably going to be a longer one. So I really want to pinpoint some stuff here and see what's happening, because it is happening. And there's no doubt in my mind that things are going down fast. And a lot of it's happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. But anyways, God bless you guys. I will talk to you soon.